What's going on, guys? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and today we're doing our first mock draft video of the season. Very exciting stuff. I will say my mock draft is going to be a little bit different than other people, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But before I do, if you're new, if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate if you would click that subscribe button. Also, click the bell icon so you're notified when I upload a video or when I go live. If you like the video, smack that like button, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you have a Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter at horseshoe_pod. There is a link in the description down below. So, what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to do the first 3 rounds. We're a little bit over a month away from the draft. So, as we get closer, I'm going to add more rounds to my mock drafts. And then, more than likely, my final mock draft will be all 7 rounds. Also, the thing that's going to be different about this video compared to other mock draft videos is I'm doing 2. I'm doing what I think they're going to do and what I think they should do as 2 separate mock drafts. That way you guys have an idea of what I actually would do in these situations versus what I think they're going to do. So with that being said, we're going to get into it right now. We're going to start off with round 1. Pick number 14, what I think they're going to do. What I think they're going to do, to me, it's honestly pretty easy to predict. I think this is a very easy one to call and predict. I think they go tight end, and they're going to draft Tyler Warren from Penn State. Tyler Warren is a monster, for lack of better words. He really is. He's a great receiving threat when it comes to a tight end. He was voted as college football's best tight end last season. Some people didn't like that he won, but still, he won the award. He is a monster. I saw it firsthand when I watched the Notre Dame Penn State game. None of the receivers were involved. In fact, the receivers for Penn State had 0 catches. He had like 6 or 7, and then there's another tight end with like 1 or 2 catches. But he was double covered, triple covered, and he was still catching the football. He's shown that he can make great catches. Like, he makes really, really difficult catches, which is going to help any offense in general when it comes to the pass game. I think Anthony Richardson is going to love having a guy like Tyler Warren. He's not a great blocker, though. That is something that he definitely should be improving on, and he hopefully will if the Colts draft him, because when we run the football, you might have to run the opposite way more often than not when he's lined up. So his blocking definitely has to improve. Super athletic, though. Definitely could improve his route running just a little bit, but I'm not really worried about that when he's as athletic as he is and when he's able to catch the football like he can. So I wouldn't be worried about that, but it definitely can improve. But this is a guy that would be a great weapon for this offense. I think the Colts wanted a tight end last year for a long time. I thought, oh, Edge is the number 1. Not signing Hunter last offseason, to me, that kind of showed that, yeah, they're going to address it. And they probably would have. But I think they wanted a tight end as well. And they wanted Brock Bowers. Obviously, didn't happen. I think they take a tight end with pick 14, and it's going to be Tyler Warren. So with that pick, I think they go Tyler Warren. What I think they should do, though, is a little bit different. So obviously, tight end is a big need. I'm not going to deny that at all. It's a big need. But I would argue there are a few other positions that are of need. Linebacker, right guard. I think safety could still be addressed. Corner could still be addressed as well. And I'll say this right now. If Will Johnson is at 14, because some people think he's going to fall. I don't think he's going to fall. I think he gets drafted in the top 7. But if he falls to 14, you have to take Will Johnson. Will Johnson would just be so good for this defense. He really would. Imagine having 2 lockdown corners on the field at the same time. That would be amazing. But again, he's not going to be available. But I do think there is a linebacker that will be available, and he happens to be my number 2 player as far as who I want when it comes to realistic options. And that guy is Jihad Campbell. Jahad Campbell is one of the best linebackers in this draft, if not the best. He's really good when it comes to tackling, which is a big reason why I want him at 14. Because look, I get it. Zaire Franklin broke franchise records, what, twice for most tackles in a season? He can get you tackles, but he also can miss tackles too. Jahad Campbell would be a great addition because he rarely misses tackles. He does a really good job when it comes to tackling players. He doesn't miss tackles often, so that's something I like. He's also good when it comes to the pass rush, which is a plus because you can have Jahad Campbell rush the quarterback whenever you need him to, and he's going to have some success there. He's good when it comes to defending the run, and he's also good in coverage, right? Like, he's a good coverage linebacker, which, again, is something this team needs. Like, I don't know, Carlisle's, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry, but he is good in coverage too. But if you get a guy like Jahad Campbell, I think that can really just make this defense really, really good. So for me personally, I'm going to go Jahad Campbell at pick number 14. Now let's move on to round 2, which is the 45th pick. So I think what they will do, well, it could be a couple different routes. I think it's who's available, right? If a guy like Benjamin Morrison is available at 45, I think there's a really strong chance they take Benjamin Morrison because he's a projected first round corner, or he was prior to the injury. So I think if a guy like that falls into the second round, Chris Ballard has shown that first round talent guys that are available in round 2 are guys that he's going to go after more often than not. I do think they go linebacker, though, and they're going to go with another really good linebacker, and that is Demetrius Knight Jr. from South Carolina. Again, a very good linebacker, one of the better linebackers in this draft. This is another guy that is good in coverage. He's good when it comes to tackling. He's good when it comes to run defense, and he's good when it comes to rushing a quarterback too. If there are any weaknesses when it comes to his tackling, I will say that there are times where he will dive at ankles, which will cause some missed tackles. That is something you can work on. That is something you can improve. So I'm not going to be worried when it comes to that. So that's something that could be a little bit worrisome when it comes to defending running backs on pass plays, like as far as covering running backs. There are some running backs that can cause some problems from too. I'm talking like super shifty type of running backs. It's not enough to where I'm like, but like a guy like Saquon Barkley, for example, or a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. That's where I'd be a little more concerned. But still, he's good in coverage for the most part. Tackling is another thing I like about him too. So I do think they go linebacker, and in my opinion, they're going to go with Demetrius Knight. Now, here's what I would do with the second round pick. At 45, I would go tight end because I don't think Xavier Watts is going to be available at 45. If Xavier Watts is available at 45, I would take him for sure. However, I don't think he's going to be available, so I'm going to go tight end here, and I would take Harold Fannin Jr. from Bowling Green. This is the guy a lot of people said should have won the best tight end award in college football last year. This guy, when it comes to being a receiving threat, is a monster. Just like Tyler Warren, this guy is a monster. He had, this past season, 117 catches for 1,555 yards, 10 touchdowns. That is insane for a tight end. Absolutely insane, right? And look, it's not like he didn't play great against like top 25 type of competition. He only played really good against like MAC teams. No, against teams that were in the top 25, he still had big numbers too. It's not like he only does this against poor competition. No, he can also play really, really good against really good competition. This guy, again, would just be a dynamic weapon for Anthony Richardson. He is a great deep threat option. He's great in the short term. He's great in the intermediate term. If there's anything that is a weakness, it is blocking. It is something that has to be improved. Just like Tyler Warren's not the greatest blocker, Harold Fannin Jr. is also not the greatest blocker. But again, these are things you can work on and you can improve. And I'm not saying that these guys could become elite blockers, but they can become solid blockers. So, overall, I think he would be a great addition for this offense. You got to address tight end. It's either going to be in round 1 or round 2. I wouldn't hate the third round as well because there are some guys that could be pretty good additions too. But look, if Tyler Warren went in last year's draft, Harold Fannin Jr. would clearly be the best tight end in this draft. So I'm going to go with him at pick number 45. All right, so let's move on to round 3. This is going to be the final round in this video. What I think the Colts are going to do is I think they're going to draft a guard. They're going to draft somebody that can replace Will Fries and somebody that is good when it comes to pass blocking. Because I've noticed, I'm sure you guys did too, when Will Fries went down, the pass protection just wasn't the same. It wasn't as good. So I think they're going to find somebody that can replace that and that can be good when it comes to protecting Anthony Richardson because that is key. When you protect Anthony Richardson, he plays better. That is something you should focus on. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to go with a guard here. This is somebody from a small school, Sacramento State. I think they take Jackson Slater. I think Jackson Slater can step in and play really, really good. I think he could be a good replacement for Will Fries. And look, I trust Chris Ballard when it comes to finding good offensive linemen in the draft. He's good at that. And I think Jackson Slater would be another good player to add. Now look, is his run blocking amazing? No, it's good though. Like it's not bad, it's good. But his strength is definitely pass protection. I believe he did not allow a single sack last season, which is really impressive. I do think there's a chance he goes to round 4 though, which is why I'm not taking him in round 3 because I like Jackson Slater a lot. The reason why I think there's a chance he falls to round 4 is because he did have a significant knee injury, and I do think, just like with some other players, that injury is going to lower his draft stock, but I don't think that's going to affect what he's going to be in the NFL. I still think he's going to be as good in the NFL as he would have been if he didn't get hurt. So I'm not too worried about it, but I think that the Colts will go ahead and take him in round 3 just so he's not taken in the 4th round before they have an opportunity. Because this is a really good player. This is another like small school type of player that could become a very good starting player in the NFL. So I think they go Jackson Slater. What I think they should do though is I think they should address the safety position. And look, I don't know if this guy's going to be available. I really don't know. He might be. He may be gone before we get to pick 80. But I'm going with him anyway. At pick number 80 in round 3, I think the Indianapolis Colts should draft safety Andrew Mukumba. I believe that's how you say his last name, but he's from Texas. Very good safety. Very good when it comes to the pass coverage game. Had 5 interceptions this past season for them, which is really good for safety. Had 69 tackles, nice, and 41 of those were solo. This is a very good tackler. He's very good at man and press coverage. He's very, very good when it comes to zone coverage as well. And he's just really good at coverage overall. And he's a good run defender too. He's a very good run defender, and he's one of those players that Colts fans are going to look up, and they're going to see the type of tackles and the type of hits that he had last season, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, this dude is a monster. He's going to be amazing. And I think this is a guy they should draft. Look, again, I think Nick Cross has earned the opportunity to compete for that starting job instead of just saying, yep, no, we got to move on from him. but I still think they should draft a safety as well as, sign a safety, which they did with Bynum. I think they should draft a safety, and if you can get Makumba, I think he'd be a great addition for this defense. I really do. And then I would look at going after offensive line in round 4. But this guy, man, I think Colts fans would love him. I have him at pick 80. That's what I would do. But that's going to do it, guys. Let's run through the mock drafts again, starting with what I think they're going to do at pick 14, Tyler Warren, at pick 45, Demetrius Knight Jr., and at pick 80, Jackson Slater. And what I think they should do is take Jahad Campbell at 14, Harold Fannin Jr. at 45, and then Andrew Makuba at pick 80. So that's going to do it, guys. Thank you very much for watching again. If you're new, if you haven't already, I would greatly appreciate if you would click that subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified when I upload a video or when I go live. If you like the video, smack the like button. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Matt, Bleed Blue. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, make sure you watch one of these other 2 videos. They're cool. Also, if you're new, please click the subscribe button as well as the bell icon. I greatly appreciate your support.